There once was a courtier proud, who would not bow with the crowd, stood straight and tall, not scared at all of what the king might do if he saw. Now, no need to scowl at me. I am only making an observation. Few dare stand their ground in the royal court. I observe and I admire. No judgment here. 'Tis not my place to say how anyone should act. Only watch and see how they do, and form a harmless little rhyme about it. For I am but a harmless court jester. Everyone in the court acts a role. At least I admit to the part I play. The general's posture, the priest's pontificate, the courtiers fall over themselves in their rush to appear important. It all works because everyone contributes and everyone feels equally like an unfit imposter living a life of lies. Everyone but you. Your words mean what they say. Your compliments signal praise, your smiles show kindness, and your silence marks peace. There is no threat about you except where you show it. No hidden meanings, no cloaked daggers. Because either you don't care to play the game, or you haven't learned how. And I know not which option is more dangerous for you. Oh, don't bristle. I mean no insult, only to observe and study with keen interest. For I doubt one with such a knowing gaze would mistake meanings without intention. You and I are not all that dissimilar. I too hear more than I pretend. But unlike you, fortunate one, I must make my judgments known and proclaim them in proud superlatives. Oh, were you not judging? My apologies. One forgets one is in the company of a superior soul. I bow to thee, O great one. My jest has had the opposite impact to what was intended. Riddle me this. What appears in the mirror when you peer in responds to a name you oft hear but rarely speak, and holds me utterly captive with a single look. You, my dear. The answer is you. A flower for your buttonhole. No, I do not present one to every passing stranger. Only you. You caught my eye across the room and I had to make my admiration known. I hope you can forgive the clumsiness of my approach. Truth be told, this is not the first time you catch my eye. In no ill way. Fear not, I have not collected a catalogue of your mistakes and mask slips. Or if I have, it is entirely for my own perusal and pleasure. The flower. May I? I am not a magician. I nicked it from the vase over there. That is to say, the blossom appeared in my hand as I was passing by, ever so cruelly cut from its stem. But as it now spends the final moments of its transient beauty resting upon your lapples, surely it cannot begrudge its fate. You think this part of my game. I can see it in your eyes. You wear your honesty where the others keep a mask. Is it so impossible to believe that? The one whose life is a game of masks might find that a little refreshing. Or are you afraid of me? Of the judgment I might pass? The reading I might give you? Do you fear I might at any moment step to the center of the room and declare your secrets for all to hear? Perhaps some fear is good to have. Oh, there goes the Dowager Countess off to swat another hen. I am fortunate to be spared her wrath on this fine occasion. Not that I would be faced with it often. Only in the rare case she misconstrues a passing comment. You do not believe me. What can I do to convince you my intentions are sincere? Shall I loudly renounce all others and whisper thy name with my purpling lips as a jealous lover strikes me down? Your lover, it was my intention to say. Not that I would speculate you to have any, which is not to say I would think you could not. Only to say, I mean no question to your chastity. And I need not speculate to begin with, for if you had a lover, I would most certainly know. Nothing passes in the royal court without my knowing. I see all. I read all. No note passes me unnoticed, no whisper goes unheard. For one slip and a jab at a spot too tender will see my own head rolling in dirt. And that is why I know you are not from round here. And that you came to this ball alone. A friend of Mrs. C, perhaps? Or did Lady L invite you herself? You need not tell, for I shall know all in due time. But rest assured, your secrets are safe with me. For I am but a humble comedian. Worthless, friendless, harmless and blunt. I conceal no daggers, but if I did, they would all be rusted and dull. For the only thing sharp about me is my wit when it finds a target. I mean no harm, least of all to you. Well, I mean no harm to you. To others, mayhap I have on occasion let slip one thing or another that I knew would mean the world to one, and nothing at all to most who hear. A sold-out partner, a betrayed lover, The business of knowing is a lucrative one, though my only currency is emotion. Though, rarely does anyone make me feel anything. Too soon? Well, I'm sorry, but I would rather not disguise this one thing that is worth the risk of honesty. The business of knowing comes with the side of learning when to be true. And God knows I have failed my lessons before. You're not from around here, which means you are likely a visitor, which in turn means you will be going away. And you are, shall I say, attractive, which means I will not be the only one noticing you. And it is a miracle I caught you alone. And you have a sharp wit, which means mine dulls the more we speak. So we are racing against time as is. I turned into a mumbling fool. Truth is, I know also that this is not your first ball here. But by the looks of it, it well may be your last. Fine silks, point lace. Latest style, but not showing any trend. You have taken advantage of the skills of our local artisans, but generalized it just enough to fit the fashion back home, without failing to say, "Look where I have been." So, can you fault me for approaching you when I had the chance? I am not a bard. I do not sing to every stranger. Though, would you like me to try? Perhaps a sonnet would melt your heart. It would also see me climb to the gallows for making the king regret his gift of hearing. A good day for the deaf among us, not so much for any others. That got through to you. I am but a human beneath the bells. I know our time is not long, so let me say that I have appreciated you seeing past the pointed hat. You reject your role as the stiff courtier, so I too can be myself for a moment, beyond my role of employment. See how low you have worn my wit. I have been disarmed, and have nothing but honesty left, though it likely comes across as too thick to be true. Who can mock the king but a jester? And she too, only because no one knows to take her seriously. It is the armor I depend on to be safe. But the constant incredulity leaves you wondering how you are meant to approach the people whose minds you are not trying to toy with. Or maybe you would enjoy the game. Maybe that is why you never asked me to leave you be. Well, if you want me to break you, I'm sure we can come to an agreement about the rules for it. And I will let you strip me with your wit too, for I rather enjoy being bested at my own game. When you go away, will you think of me? the fool on her knees for you. I shall think of you and find the court a little colder each day. But I shan't keep you any longer. The rumor would be worse for you if one were to spread. Be well. Remember, you are always... The balcony. Are you asking me to participate in the activity that grants me most of my material? That would be an interesting experiment. Who would be spying to poke fun of us afterward if I am occupied by the escapade? Shall we find out?